Every soldier stationed here has already survived real combat. Real wars, real losses, real danger. This facility exists to help them recover, retrain, and prepare for whatever comes next. It's not glamorous work, but it's necessary. Korrath, still struggling against his restraints, glared at her sharply. If this is truly a recovery facility, why disguise it as something so insignificant? Cross's expression remained calm, patient. Because real threats, serious organized military forces, rarely bother with small outposts like this one. But smaller threats, like raiders looking for easy targets, often do. We built this place specifically with people like you in mind. The realization stung deeply. Korrath's entire raiding career had been built around exploiting weak, disorganized targets, specifically human outposts that appeared undefended and vulnerable. Now standing humiliated and restrained, he understood clearly that this outpost's vulnerability had been nothing more than a carefully designed illusion. One of the younger raiders, visibly shaken by the unexpected resistance, spoke up nervously. "Why didn't they just kill us? We attacked them directly." Kross overheard the question and answered calmly without hesitation. "Killing isn't our first choice, not when it can be avoided. Most of us have seen enough death already. Containing a threat peacefully whenever possible is always preferable." This casual acknowledgement of past violence, spoken so calmly, unsettled Issa more than any aggressive threat could have. These weren't soldiers eager for conflict. They were soldiers who had already experienced more than enough of it, choosing restraint deliberately, not out of weakness, but out of hard-earned wisdom. Korrath, still trying to salvage some control over the situation, attempted one final argument. "Surely you understand we were simply following standard raiding procedures. Nothing personal." Kross studied him carefully, her tone shifting slightly, more serious now. "I understand perfectly. You saw what looked like an easy target, and you took the opportunity without hesitation. That's exactly the kind of decision-making we built this facility to address." She paused briefly before continuing, her voice calm but pointed. "Every soldier here has already faced situations far more dangerous than this one. You didn't walk into an unprepared outpost. You walked into people who've already survived worse than anything you could throw at them." The weight of her words settled heavily across the restrained raiders. Issa, watching Korrath's expression shift from anger to quiet realization, understood clearly that their earlier confidence, built entirely on years of successful raids against supposedly weak targets, had been fundamentally misplaced from the very beginning. Kross gestured calmly toward her fellow soldiers, who began efficiently organizing the restrained raiders for transport, treating even minor injuries among them with practiced professional care. Not cruelty, not revenge, simply calm, controlled procedure. Korrath, finally accepting the reality of his situation, asked quietly, almost reluctantly, "How many other outposts like this one exist?" Kross's expression remained neutral, though a faint hint of something like quiet amusement flickered briefly in her eyes. "Enough that you should probably reconsider your approach to future raids, assuming you get the chance to attempt any." The comment, delivered calmly and without malice, struck Korrath harder than any direct threat could have. His entire strategy, refined over years of successful raids, had just been exposed as fundamentally flawed, built on outdated assumptions about human vulnerability that clearly no longer applied, at least not universally. As the soldiers continued organizing the raiders calmly and efficiently, Issa found herself reflecting on everything they had witnessed since first entering this outpost. The deliberate disguise, the calm professionalism, the quiet strength hidden carefully beneath an unremarkable exterior. She glanced toward Korrath, expecting to see continued defiance, but instead found only quiet defeat. The look of someone forced to confront a mistake far larger than any single failed raid. Kross, noticing the shift in mood among the restrained raiders, spoke one final time before stepping away to oversee the rest of the operation. Lesson learned, hopefully. Not every quiet outpost is as harmless as it looks. As she walked away, calm and composed, Korrath remained silent, finally understanding the true depth of his miscalculation. Not just about this single outpost, but potentially about countless others scattered quietly across human territory, each one disguised carefully, waiting patiently for raiders who underestimated exactly who or what they were truly up against. The footsteps grew louder, calm and unhurried, echoing steadily through the dim, red-lit corridor. Korrath's raiders stood tense, weapons raised, waiting for whatever was approaching to reveal itself. From the shadows ahead, a single figure emerged, a human woman, calm and composed, wearing simple fatigues rather than heavy armor. She didn't appear armed, at least not visibly, yet she walked forward without the slightest hesitation. This was Sergeant Elena Cross. She stopped a short distance from the raiders, studying them with calm, evaluating eyes. The same way someone might look over an interesting problem rather than a dangerous threat. "You're standing in Forward Operations Unit 12, she said simply. "Officially listed as a logistics and research station. Unofficially, not quite that." Korrath's grip tightened on his weapon. "Explain now." Cross tilted her head slightly, almost amused by his demand. "This facility exists for training and recovery, specifically for combat veterans between deployments, soldiers who've already survived real wars, real battles, real danger. Not minors, not researchers." The raiders shifted uncomfortably, glancing at each other as the weight of her words settled in. Issa felt her earlier suspicions solidify into cold certainty. Korrath, refusing to back down despite his growing unease, took a step forward. "If this is truly a military facility, where's your defense fleet? Your warships? Your shields?" Cross's expression remained calm, almost patient, like a teacher explaining something obvious to a struggling student. "We don't need flashy defenses here. Big, heavily defended bases attract big, organized enemies. Quiet, ordinary-looking outposts like this one attract, well, raiders like you, looking for an easy target." The implication hit hard. Korrath's confidence, already shaken, began to crack further. This wasn't simply bad luck. This outpost's weak appearance had been deliberately designed to invite exactly this kind of attack. "You wanted us to attack this place?" Korrath demanded, his voice sharp with disbelief. "Not specifically you," Cross replied evenly. "But someone like you eventually. It was only a matter of time."